Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and welcome to today's Medicine Walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, hello and welcome to another session of Healing House Radio with Dr. Eileen. So it is, hold on, let me turn that down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Little technical stuff. There's always little technical stuff that's interesting. So what I really am interested in talking about today is that one of the questions that I get a lot in talking with people is, what is their purpose? What is their life purpose? And that can be a really tricky thing. It can be something that has people, really thinking about why they're here. Because we'd all like to know why we're here. We'd all like to know that there was something, it's something that really embraces who they are fundamentally as a person, as a being. And people go to a lot of different people, and they come to me and they ask, well, why am I here? I just want to know what my purpose is. I want to know why I'm in this earth, and I want to know what my higher purpose is, and honestly, if you really want to know what your higher purpose is, what is your life purpose, create it. Make it. That's the only way you can know for sure. And some people might go, it's like, well, how do you can't create a life purpose? That's your spirit's destined, that your soul is destined for it. And yeah, that might be the belief, that might be the way that people, kind of embrace that. And to me, it's choice. The greatest gift that we have totally is, shift my headphones a little bit, but the best gift that we have is our ability to choose. Whether we're choosing what we're going to have for dinner that day, or whether we're choosing, what we want to do and how we want to help people and how we want to walk in this world. Because it seems to be that, there is that big piece of, how do I want to walk in this world? What is it that I want to be able to express? What do I want to be remembered for? When people see me or hear my name, I want them to think, wow, that was a person who really made a difference. And yeah, I think that it's good to want to make a difference. And that comes from a really wonderful place. And when you consider how many people you do already make a difference to, and in what ways that you bring out something in someone else, maybe, you help them through a tough time, or you're there when they need you, you're willing to drop everything and just go and be there for them and help them out. That makes a difference. And maybe that is a part of your life purpose. I was thinking not that long ago that, and I talked about it in the last program, was that I realized that if me from like 20 years ago met me now, I would go, wow, that's a person that I want to be like. That's the type of life I want to have. She lives in the woods, and she gets to be on a mountain, and she gets to do all this cool ceremonial stuff, and she's a doctor. And I would have thought that the me who is now had it all together, and that's what I would want to be when I grew up. And I realized that it doesn't matter what it is that, where you're at, or what you've done or what you haven't done. It's about you being able to appreciate how far you've come, And to think that, you might seem, tremendously cool to someone with less life experience. And you are tremendously cool. I mean, you don't just seem to be cool, you are cool. And you are, you're special. And you contribute to this world in a very, very special way. And you may not see it, you may not notice it, you may not think that, but honestly, you do. We each have no idea how many people we affect. We have no idea how many people say, you know what, that person was there when I needed them. I was at the end of my rope, and they did a kindness. You don't know if, that stranger who you tell, hey, have a good day, or hey, that's a really great color on you. That moment of interaction, that moment of connection, that moment of acknowledgement, you don't know if that was something that kept that person from losing all hope, from losing faith. It is so easy to think that, well, I'm not changing the world. But you are. You may be changing it one person at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. But consider the people in your life who were just so inspirational to you, that were so supportive of you when you really, really needed it. And they might not think that it was a big deal at the time. They might not think that, I helped them out. But, they may be thinking, I really didn't do much. It's easy to think that we don't really do much. It's easy to think that because we have problems and we have issues and we have those things that weigh down, and maybe we made a mistake or two, that does not matter, that doesn't count. That all of it is like, well, I'm not who I thought I would be. Well, I don't think any of us who are who we thought we would be, because we didn't know what we would experience. And looking back on what it is that inspires us, what it is that says, you know what, yes, I can do something. I want to do something. I feel called to do something. Maybe that something is to learn to be a healer or to expand as a healer. Maybe it's, fighting social injustice. Maybe it's taking a leadership role in something. Maybe it's starting a group that, maybe the particular type of group that, you would want to find, and it's not there. Well, then you choose to start it. Maybe starting your own business or stepping into a relationship. Whatever it is, we don't know what's going to happen until after it happens. And then we learn from it, and we take whatever it is that we have to work with from it and use that to create the next level of ourselves. And creating your life purpose, you decide what your life purpose is. Well, I want to serve. Great, awesome. There's many ways that you can serve, but decide what it is that you want to serve or how you want to serve. Not important so much, whether or not you figure, well, is it enough? There's always that question, is it enough? The answer to that question is yes. If you put your heart in it, if you put your spirit into it, if you did the absolute best you could, it's enough. It's more than good enough. Maybe it didn't end up how you hoped. Maybe you wanted to do something to save the world. Well, that's kind of a big thing. Very difficult for one person to do on their own. And you can change the world for one person, even if that one person is yourself. I always think about the story of the two people walking along the beach, and there's all these starfish on the beach. And one person keeps bending down and throwing them back into the water, one by one. And the person with them says, look, there are thousands of starfish out here. You can't save them all. What you're doing doesn't matter. And so the person just bent over, picked up another one, threw it back into the water, and said it mattered to that one. And if you can figure out what is it that you want to do, if you want to do something to change the world, change one person at a time. And the first person that you change is you. The first person that you embrace to say, this is one person who I want to change the world for them in a significantly better way. Well, start inside. You change the world for yourself, and then you can change the world for other people. Or, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is you feel called to do. It doesn't take anything to just check it out and find out what it is that you would like to do, and say, well, you know what, I think I've always wanted to do that, and maybe, you know, maybe I'll give it a try. You can give anything a try. You can take your shot at it. It may work out, it may not. But at least you took your shot. At least you tried. And a life purpose isn't just one thing. You could have a dozen life purposes. You can have as many life purposes as you like. Just don't worry about getting it wrong. Don't ask someone else to hand it to you, not even the universe. Because if you say, okay, universe, give me my life purpose, the universe is going to say, like, well, okay, what do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do? What is it that calls your spirit? Because that's the empowerment piece. That's where we have choice. And to me, the best thing about this life is the ability to choose. I'm no longer concerned, quite frankly, about what my life choice or what my life purpose is. Because I broke it down into something very simple. First, I chose. I chose that my life purpose is to do my own work within my own spirit and be the best person that I know to be at any point in that moment. Not the best person ever, just the best person I know how to be. And always work on learning better ways to be a better person. 2, serve and appreciate and hold in gratitude Creator as I envision Creator to be, which is a wonderful aspect of the universe that cares about me, that I feel cares about me, that I believe cares about me, and that I want to do the best I can for that consciousness, because I know that that consciousness does the best it can for me. And 3rd, make a few people smile along the way. Do your best to leave somebody a little bit better than when you found them. I mean, you know, you can't control how they choose to feel, and you can give them a nice little space to tell a cashier, wow, you know, thank you for working so hard. You know, you're really working hard to get everybody rung up, and you know, and I want to thank you for that. A military person for their service, to tell somebody that they've got a really nice smile, to, you know, give a little bit of an extra tip to a waiter or waitress. Just those little things to lighten the load for someone, to give them a reason to smile during that day. So pretty much be the best me I know how to be. Love and serve Creator and make a few people smile along the way. That is my entire life purpose. That is what I'm here to do. And it's special to me because it's what I chose. If there are any other things, my mom used to say she didn't know what was in the big book. And the big book was basically whatever it is that I was destined to do, or that any person is destined to do. I don't know what is in the big book. And I don't care. And it may sound very weird to hear somebody say, it's like, you know what, honestly, I don't care. about what my life purpose is. I know I want to have some fun. I know that I want to grow as a person. And I think spending each day and finding a reason to have a little bit of fun is an excellent life purpose. Because what it does is it teaches other people to learn to have fun. The world can sometimes be a not so fun place. Hard things happen, sad things happen. And just because you make a commitment to find some fun doesn't mean that you're not acknowledging that hard things happen. You're not acknowledging that there's difficulty. It doesn't mean that at all. And it doesn't mean that you're belittling it. It doesn't mean that you're not acknowledging, those who are suffering. What it means is that you don't worry about whether or not, you're accomplishing some scripted destiny that you think is expected of you. Just try to have some fun. Try to walk gently in the world. Try to be gentle with yourself, because when you can be gentle with yourself, you can be gentle with other people. Put together those pieces of, what it is. It's like, well, maybe you like music, and maybe you enjoy singing, and maybe you really like having people feel better. It's like, well, go join a choir that goes and sings at, convalescent homes. Be there to add your voice to that. It's wonderful to have something that, you feel is what you're meant to do. And you're also meant to be in joy. You're meant to be in love. You're meant to be confident. You're meant to be appreciated for whatever you do. Maybe you have an elderly neighbor, and when you see the newspaper and it's out by the street, and you pick it up and you toss it a little closer to their door, because maybe they have a little bit of trouble getting that far out. That's an awesome, life purpose, to make things a little bit more comfortable whenever you can for somebody else. If you see somebody, trying to struggle with, getting groceries out of a cart, you can offer, say, excuse me, can I help you put that in your cart? I mean, they may look at you a little weird, like, okay, what are they going to do? They're going to steal my bags. But a lot of times people will appreciate little acts of generosity, little acts of consideration. If somebody's running to catch the elevator, stick your hand out so that the doors don't close. I mean, don't lose the finger, but if you can do that, just stop it so that they can get onto the elevator. If somebody's reaching for something at a grocery store that's too high for them, and hey, I'm built low to the ground, granted, benefit, I get rained on last, and it makes the stuff on the high shelves a little tough to reach. And it really feels wonderful when somebody, says, hey, can I get that for you? And, that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I've been acknowledged. It makes me feel like, wow, this person took an extra few minutes to acknowledge that I needed something. And that's a wonderful life purpose. Just to go around doing good for people whenever you can, and when it seems appropriate. So by choosing your life purpose, the whole concept of the life purpose opens up, because then it's conscious. To be given a life purpose, for me, the way I feel about it is that, okay, you kind of got pulled into it. Well, yeah, that's my life purpose. Well, okay, but is it your choice? Are you doing it because, well, this is what everybody else tells me I should be doing? Or, I went to a seminar and they told me that, no, this is your life purpose. I mean, I'm all about taking suggestions. I'm perfectly open to a suggestion on a life purpose. But the thing is, I don't need it anymore because I understand my life purpose because I chose it. And no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances, no matter what difficulties you've encountered in life, because some people, they think that, oh, well, I should have had my life purpose when I was younger, or I should have had my life purpose, when I was richer, or, life purposes don't work that way. You can always have a life purpose. The train does not pull out of the station without you. It will always wait because, okay, I mean, if you consider, well, what were you destined to do? Well, if you were destined to do it, you're going to do it no matter what. The important thing is that it's not something you have to choose. It's something you get to choose. Decide for yourself what your life purpose is and make it that. Make your life focused on what it is that you feel is important. What do you feel the world could use more of? Maybe you think the world could use more compassion. And so, you work to, maybe you join a group that, helps comfort people when they're going through tough times. Maybe you could become a full-blown, go to school, become a full-blown therapist. Or maybe you just work through, a local church or support groups to, feed people at a food kitchen. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be, well, if it's not global, then, then it's not real. Or if I'm not changing the world. Yeah, it is real. Every little teeny tiny bit of what you choose to do, I mean, that's all it takes. That's all that matters, is that you have chosen to make one little tiny difference in the world. I mean, a great thing to do is, it's like, well, I want to save the world. You know what? There are all kinds of community cleanups that, get posted out where you can go and spend the morning, picking trash off a beach with a whole bunch of people, or cleaning by the side of the road with a bunch of people. I mean, don't go do it by yourself because, that could be a problem if you're out by the highway by yourself picking up things. But, connect with these organizations that, do the cleanups. It's like, what, you want to save the earth directly? You can go clean. It's not less of a life purpose when other people are helping you, when other people are working with you. And that's the best part is, go out and find people who have a life purpose that's similar to yours. And hang out together and say, hey, we're gonna go do something cool. We're gonna go learn how to make hand puppets and go entertain kids at a hospital. A life purpose can be as complicated or as big or as easy and as small as you choose it to be, because it is your life purpose. You get to go shop for the coat. You don't just have the coat that's handed to you. You get to choose the car. Maybe you want a fast car. Maybe you want a economical car. Maybe you want a great big SUV car. But you don't just walk onto the lot and have somebody go, okay, there's your car, drive off. Well, no, you kind of want to pick it. You want to find the car that's right for you. So you want, if you would take that much trouble with a car, how much more important is your life purpose? And oh, by the way, a life purpose, you can do it for a while, and then it's like, okay, I think I've done that for a while. Now I'm going to do something else. So you can decide to shift life purposes. Whatever it is that you want to do, find a way to do it. And if it turns out you can't, then maybe you can do something close to it. But don't get so wrapped up in, I want to know why I'm here. You're here to have fun. You're here to learn. You're here to interact with others. You're here to grow as a person. That's all on you. You don't have to worry about, somebody telling you what you're meant to do. Decide what you want to do and then go do that. And you do that until you don't choose to do that anymore. Then you go choose to do something else. Maybe you have, what is my life purpose for this week? Maybe your life purpose for this week is to organize your closets. All right, life purpose accomplished. Maybe your life purpose for that week is to learn how to play a musical instrument. And, maybe you do that and it's like, wow, I'm having fun with this. I'm going to make it my life purpose for next week too. It doesn't matter what you choose, as long as you choose it from your heart. As long as you choose it because you want to choose it. As long as you decide that, you know what? This is how I'm going to change the world just a little bit. And you can even change the world by making yourself happier. So maybe one of your life purposes is that every week you treat yourself to something that you really enjoy, some little thing. Maybe it's going to a museum, or maybe it's going to, listen to some music in a park, or maybe it's seeing that movie that you've really been waiting to see. But, that each week your life purpose is to do something that is just for the purpose of you to enjoy. Because when you enjoy things, when you're happy, that happiness radiates out. And when you got a bunch of people that are happy, you can't help but be happy just by walking in the room. You can be the catalyst for that. You don't have to change the world. You can change the world for one person, and that could just be you. But don't worry about someone handing you or telling you, or the fact that you think that you're going to go through your whole life and never figure out why you're here, or what your purpose is. You don't have to worry at all about what your purpose is if you decide to choose it. If you create your life purpose. And whatever that life purpose is, I know it's going to be awesome. Because you're awesome. And maybe if your life purpose is nothing more than, well, I just hope that I live more as the example than as a warning, then that's a wonderful life purpose. Do the best you can. You could even borrow mine. Be the best person that I know how to be in each moment and work on becoming better. Serve and appreciate Creator as I envision it or as you envision it. And try to make a few people smile along the way. And that includes yourself. So go out and choose your life purpose. Decide what it is that you want to be your gift to the world. And then enjoy it. And play with it and revel in it and find other people who like giving that same gift. You can't get this wrong. And creating a life purpose that includes you being very happy is not selfishness. That's actually enlightenment. There's a story about a man who was a monk, and he was traveling and he was going to see the Buddha. And one man, was walking along and he was like in rags and he was wailing and feeling bad and denying himself food. And so he said, well, you're going to go see the Buddha? And he said, yes. And he said, well, can you ask him how many more lifetimes I have until I have reached enlightenment? And so the monk agreed. And so the monk is walking along and he runs into a guy who's laughing and partying up under a tree. And he's just having a good time. He's playing music and he's chuckling to himself and he's dancing around. And he says, "You're going to go see the Buddha?" And the monk says, "Yes." And he said, "Do me a favor and ask him how many more lifetimes I have until I reach enlightenment." So the monk agreed. So the monk went and saw the Buddha and posed the two questions for the two people. So on his trip back, he ended up running into the first man first. So the man is there and he's miserable. He goes, "I have suffered and denied myself and I have fasted. Tell me, how many more lifetimes do I have to suffer before I reach enlightenment?" And the monk said, "Well, the Buddha says you have 100 more lifetimes before you reach enlightenment." And the man wailed and cried and trudged off very dejected. And so then the monk went and saw the second man, who was still under the tree, still laughing, still enjoying himself. And he said, "Well, how many more lifetimes do I have?" And the monk said, "Well, the Buddha says that you have as many lifetimes as there are leaves in the tree that you're standing beneath." So the man looks up and he sees that there are like thousands and thousands and thousands more leaves than he can count. And he looked and he broke out in a huge smile and said, "That's wonderful." And in that moment, he reached enlightenment. He wasn't worried about his life purpose. He was just in joy. And he expressed joy. And if that's as much as you want for a life purpose, is just to be able to express joy, that is awesome. So be in joy. I would love to hear what you would choose as your life purpose, and knowing that you can always change it. But until next time, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I will be back next week. And if you got anything out of this, if you appreciated it, then you can like the video. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you could also, on Blog Talk Radio, you can become a follower. And if you're on Blog Talk Radio, go over to YouTube and you can actually see me as I'm talking. You can also comment, and I would, I check the comments, I answer comments, and it's really great to be able to interact. And, if you have any questions, if there's a topic that you would like me to cover, please let me know. Or you could share this video. And you can find me on Twitter and on Pinterest and on Instagram and on Facebook. We have our group Facebook, Medicine Walk with Dr. Eileen. And however you would like to connect. And if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Otherwise, and until next time, as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings. From my heart to yours. Love you. Bye.